So how I've raised over £600,000 of investor capital in probably the past 9 months. And hello, my name is Ryan Eastley. I'm a property investor from South Wales in the UK. I've been investing in property for over 7 years now and been helping other people invest in property for probably over the past 4 years in total. And one thing that we really push on is raising a lot of capital. So we help people build portfolios in South Wales, but also if they don't want to be a landlord, but they also want to make money from property, then obviously getting a fixed return base is the best thing they can do if they've got a low risk appetite. So first of all, what do I mean when I say raising finance and all this kind of stuff? So number one is fixed returns. If people do a fixed return with you, which is just a loan, they basically do a loan with you. So they loan you the money for a fixed return in the back end. After X duration, they get X amount of money back plus interest. Very, very simple. It's one of, if not the lowest risk way of investing in property, because you're investing in the person for a fixed return. You're not investing into property relying on tenants or appreciating or owning an asset. You're literally just investing in the person, providing fixed return. The second way to do this, raising capital, is joint ventures, which is a much more high risk strategy, but also can be very lucrative. A joint venture for us, from our point of view, joint ventures can be very loose in terms of the structure. But the general gist of it, the way that we operate it, is if someone's got 500k or more of liquid capital, we create an SPV, which is a limited company together. We become 50-50 joint directors in the limited company. They put the money in, we do all the work. So they put the money into the company, we do all the work in terms of portfolio building. We get power of attorney, we do everything. So it really is an efficient way of them building a portfolio. That means they don't have to do next to anything, which is cool. How have I managed to raise the capital? How has this come about? Yada, yada, yada. So basically, the main thing I want to touch on is the fixed returns basis on this video, because joint ventures can differ in terms of how you structure them. So it's a lot simpler to explain how we raise the capital for the angel investors, which is the fixed loan route, and how it's come about. So basically, when someone's doing a fixed return, they're investing into you. The way we base our fixed returns is literally if someone invests into us 50k, for example, they're investing into us. We use that capital then fund the project to build our portfolio with, and then either in 12 months or 36 months, we provide them the money back plus interest. So, for example, we've got one investor now who's investing about 65k in with us, and in 3 years' time will have accumulated their their capital plus interest plus savings to be 100k. And I've actually made a few posts about that on our other social channels. And they're investing into us. They're providing us the loan. They get a fixed return. They want to build a portfolio, but it's also not their main focus. Their main focus is literally just to get a fixed return off this, to build the capital up. So they got a trusted way. Instead of having the money sat in the bank earning 3% interest, they're investing into us, earning 10% interest per annum. So they're getting effectively over 3 times better interest than the bank's offering. And one thing I noticed this week was that, you have the best savings accounts I've seen with the bank are variable rate savings accounts, which means that as the Bank of England base rate changes and all this kind of stuff, then it fluctuates. So I had one of my savings accounts got 4%, it's now down to 3.8%, and the other one's down to 3.3%. So guess what I do? I also do fixed returns with other people. So the way that I base all my investments is I've got some portfolio building for our portfolio, some doing fixed returns with other people, so I'm diversifying my own risk. And I genuinely think, in my personal opinion, in my experience, it's the best way to be, because I'm a very low risk, high scale sort of person. So I love to just work with good people, making lots of investments that are low risk and just keep compounding. That's kind of my thing. That's why I have buy-to-let portfolios in my portfolio only. I do social housing, but they are still buy-to-lets, because you're buying to let it out to a single tenant, typically. Different conversation. But yeah, in terms of the actual returns, people reach out to us because they trust us. And to be honest with you, I've been investing in the same location, doing buy-to-lets for about 7 years now, all in South Wales, all in our 20-mile radius of the valleys. And expert is a loose term, but in the grand scheme of things, that's kind of the way that I see us and our team, because we know exactly what we're doing, and there's always a dog in the background, because we know exactly what we're doing. We've got the teams, we've got all the structure in place, we've got every element covered from literally the build team. And basically, obviously, this is talking portfolio building, but because we're so efficient in what we do, and because we know the system off by heart, we know the process off by heart, this is our bread and butter, we do this every day. We have about over 6 new projects every single month we're taking on, just in South Wales. So from a credibility point of view, it builds a lot of trust. So when people reach out to us, they can see what we do. We YouTube, if you check out our other videos in this YouTube channel, you will see, we document a lot of our clients or our own projects, and we're starting to document a few more of our own projects now as well, so you can kind of see those. The principle's still the same. We're still doing the same. Buy a renovated property, buy a dated rundown property, renovate it to force appreciation up, and then refinance to the back end. The real difference is that not everyone wants that. So we are the people investing into that. We're taking on the risk. A lot of people just want to have the money working harder for them, and don't necessarily want the stress of tenants. They don't want to rely on appreciation, which is basically if the area of the property appreciates in value, then obviously the property value goes up. So there's all these elements to it that some people just don't want to stress. And even breakdowns, if the tenants are fine, if the property, appreciates, you've obviously got to deal with the letting agent. In theory, if you've got a good letting agent, that should be dealt with. And don't get me wrong, I love buy-to-let. This is the irony of this video. I love buy-to-let. The whole point I'm making is that if you don't want the hassle, if you just want to give someone a fixed return, just give them a loan, get a fixed return on the back end, this is where we've really, really scaled up what we do, because we can have more people do it. And we've, I've been doing this for over 3.5 years with the loan side of it. Like, we raised about 200k a couple of years ago. I've recently raised about 500k with a JV partner, and I've also got, I think in the past 2 months alone, we've raised over 150k in terms of just fixed returns, fixed loans with investors. And it's like, we structure it all so it's all going to be paid back on time. It's all very fluid, and it's really based upon people who want to make money from property but don't want the hassle of owning. Because if you've got tenant issues, if your property isn't appreciated as expected, your returns go to zero. Your returns of a buy-to-let, BR to buy-to-let, so buy, renovate, refinance model to buy-to-let, is based on 2 things: tenant cash flow, tenants paying their rent basically via cash flow, plus the appreciation in the long run. That's really where the returns come in. If you don't get those, then it goes back down to zero. So if people don't have the appetite for that and don't want the stress and hassle, it's an absolute no-brainer to do a fixed return. On the flip side to that, if you want to get higher returns, if you want, we typically offer about 10% per annum returns on these fixed returns. If you want something higher than that, then naturally you're going to incur more risk, and that, in a good way, you're going to incur more risk in terms of high risk strategies like building a portfolio, because that is going to give you, in theory, about 18% ROI. That's if things go the way they're meant to happen. So it comes under risk appetite. That's the whole point of this video and how we've done it. And again, we've done this for years. We've raised a lot of money and we're going to continue building this. We really want to scale what we're doing here. So if anyone wants to work with us, if anyone wants to even have a call, like, you don't even have to jump into this too soon. If you want to have a call just to explore your options in terms of seeing what is available, in terms of based upon your scenario, your financial situation, your long-term goals, which portfolio building or fixed returns, which one suits your needs better, the best thing is to book on a call with us, have a chat, because the whole point of the call with us is to brainstorm what your options are, basically, and what best suits. So I'm going to put a link in the description to the video to book on a call, and then just book on a call through our website, have a chat. There's no pressure on the call. It's just a case of sit down and a conversation so that I can understand your position to see which I think is better, because most people will want to build a portfolio. This is after years of doing this. We have over 80 people a year. We probably have over 100 people a year with either fixed returns or portfolio building. Most people do want to build a portfolio, which is exactly our bread and butter, because I build my portfolio and I have people do the exact same thing. This is kind of how we've modeled it, because I'm doing the exact same thing for clients as I'm doing myself. The difference is I've realized that not everyone actually, the portfolio building isn't always the best option. Most times it is, but not always the best option. And people get concerned about the fixed returns because they see it as, what if I don't get my money back and all that? But this is the whole point of investing in the person, not the project, because a fixed return should never be reliant on being paid back on a project. And I'll rephrase that. So a fixed return should never rely on a project going well in order to get paid, for you to get paid back on it. So if you're providing a fixed return to someone, if you're doing a fixed return with somebody, doing the loan, etc., and they're saying that this project has to go well in order for you to get paid back, stay away from it. Stay away from it, because no fixed return should ever be based on the project that it's funding going correctly. It should never rely on it. Yes, it's obviously a fundamental reason for the person funding it back, but it should never rely on it. They should have backup methods where if that project goes completely, I was going to swear then, but basically if it goes completely wrong, that should not be reliant on that. So whoever's watching this, hopefully get some value on that. If their project goes wrong on the investor side, that should never, that your return plus capital plus interest should never be reliant on that going to plan. Really want to note that. They should have backup methods that can fund back your loan in the agreed time. This is why you have personal guarantees. This is why we have a personal guarantee in every loan. We have a heads of terms and a loan agreement on every single loan we do. And obviously loans being the fixed returns, because it means that you're, as the investor, fully protected. You know exactly which date you're going to get paid back on, how much. If there's any extension clauses, that's fine. Extension clauses are fine. But it should never, we have it in our contract, in our loan agreements and paperwork, that it should never be reliant on the project going well, etc. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Sorry about the kids in the background. It's impossible to record in public, guys. But I just thought I'd give context to kind of why we do what we do, how we raise the capital. We document everything we do so people can see that we've raised so much, and we're going to scale this up big time in terms of how much we're doing. So yeah, if you want fixed returns, book in a call with us. If you've got 500k or more and you want to do a joint venture with us where you build a portfolio together, which is definitely the creme de la creme of working with us, then we can scale that up. Book in a call with us, link in the description to the video. And also like and subscribe to the video if you like more content like this. So subscribe to the video if you like the content in general, like it if you like the video, and then comment in the comments if you either want to reach out to us, or if you've got any improvements to the video. If there's any things that you want to see or hear in future, then basically put a comment on it about that to say what you want, because I'm always reading the comments. If there's certain topics or criteria that you want to listen more about. I've been investing in property for years. We've built quite a substantial portfolio, and again, we have over 100 people a year investing in property, either doing fixed returns, doing joint ventures with us, or building their own portfolio through us. And yeah, the credibility is there, don't I? Before I totally ramble on. So yeah, hope everyone has a great day. Book a call with us if you wish, no pressure with it. I actually knew there was something I forgot to mention on this before I totally cut it off. So I want to actually show you a quick glimpse of the sort of projects we actually invest in to give context as to kind of what you're investing into. So let's say you did a fixed return with us. This is the sort of project that we're completing on in the next 2 weeks. In fact, probably like 10 days now. That's fully investor funded. So the investor has loaned us 65 grand. We funded the project. That particular investor is doing a 3-year loan with us. So yeah, they obviously get capital plus interest after 3 years, and that 10% that they're getting every year is compounding, so that's really cool. And it means that we complete on the project, we can renovate and refinance and all that kind of stuff. Also, this one, now that project has just gone to legals for us. We're going to be probably completing in the next 2 months on that one, so you can see the trend there, you can see the videos, and obviously be sure to keep an eye on the channel, because I'm going to be doing a video on these exact projects, full breakdown of it. You can see from our side what we do, and you can see from the investor side. I actually have a video with one of our investor clients who's done a fixed return with us, and I'll put a link in the video. I'll put a link in the description to actually watch that video as well, because that's interesting. You see their perspective on it. They're lovely. They just want to make money from property, but they don't have to know about property. Like even in the interview, I'm sitting there thinking, when I had a chat with them basically on the video, I'm like, what do you know about property, all this kind of stuff? They got basic understanding, but they don't need to know about it. This is what we're here for. We're here to be the experts. We're here to kind of just do what we do, make them money, and then show them next steps as to kind of how the process works. So I think it's really cool. So you've got 2 projects there that we're completing on. Yeah, And that's basically just of this, really. Yeah, before I completely ramble and chew everyone's ear off, so hope everyone has a great day, a great weekend, etc. It's currently Saturday morning, so I did this video because I'm going to go for a few beers later on and be a bit rough later, so even though that's not really needed for the video. But hope everyone has a great weekend. Sun's out, so it's finally getting a bit warmer, just happy days. So yeah, like, subscribe, and keep an eye on the channel, because next week I'm going to be releasing a video on one of the actual projects we're completing on that is fully investor funded. You can see exactly the breakdown, the numbers of the project, the refurb that we're going to do, everything from our standpoint and everything from the investor standpoint. So from our standpoint is the project, from the investor standpoint is the actual loan, and how they're going to make money from this without having to do next to anything. So yeah, have a good one, keep an eye on the channel, speak soon.